So I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I just got back from the theater, so I'm kind of just gonna rapid fire my thoughts. So first of all, the good news is that the movie is really good. It's definitely what you would expect from a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It's got a lot of soul, it's got a lot of good character work, it's got just a lot of heartfelt moments in it. Now this is gonna be a spoiler-free review, I'm not spoiling anything. There were plenty of parts though where I was like, could lay off the funnies a little bit and maybe just, we don't have to be funny constantly. But it definitely wasn't near as bad as some other MCU entries when it comes to that, so that's good.
Nice job, team.
Like I said, the character work in this movie is just mostly phenomenal. Almost every single character is done really well. And the characters that are kind of they didn't have a huge role anyway, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. Also, the movie has some like really weird editing at certain parts. Most of it near the beginning where like shots come in almost too early. It's kind of weird. And there's several moments where like a window that leads to space breaks, but nobody reacts. But there's a part of the movie where somebody does react. So, which is it? I know they're comic book movies, but like, come on. Those of you who were worried about Will Poulter being Adam Warlock, worry not, because he is good in this. If you were worried about not being able to take him seriously like I was, just because he's Will Poulter, you can put those qualms to rest because that's exactly what the movie wants. It does not want you to take Adam Warlock seriously at all. And I think that is good for this version of the character, especially in this movie. If he was different, it would just be really weird and it would just be tonally off. Also, this movie feels so long. It's 2.5 hours, which is already pretty long, but it feels like it's 3 hours long. And for the most part, it's not because it's boring or too slow, although there is some of that. Just something about it just seemed to make it feel really long. And I'm not gonna spoil who, but there is a weird fake out death scene almost, where it's like, oh, this character is totally dead. They're done for. And then in the next scene, they're just fine. They're just up walking around like nothing happened. Actually, I do take it back. There were some scenes that definitely ran a little long. There were a couple scenes where they had a joke that just went on too long, and it isn't as bad as some other MCU stuff, but yeah, there were definitely times where I was like, all right, we can move on with the funnies now. Let's calm down. I mean, overall, there's not really anything else I have to say that's negative about the movie. I think the movie's pretty good. I think it, like I said, it's very heartfelt. The character work is great as usual. It's kind of sad that this is definitely James Gunn's last MCU movie, but it was a fitting send-off. I will say the ending was very satisfying. And yeah, I thought it was really good. I might do like a more in-depth review if anybody wants me to, but for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and give the movie like a 7.5. That sounds pretty good to me.